Hey everybody, today we're going to be looking at 3 different weapon mounted lights for your handgun. The first one is going to be the Inforce APL, the second is the Streamlight TLR1, and finally the Surfire X300 with a DG switch. We're going to talk about some of the specs, how they fit on a gun, price point. Let's get right into it and start out with the Inforce APL. Alright guys, all the lights you'll see today will be demonstrated on this Glock 17. I figured the Glock 17 would be a good candidate because it's a full-size handgun. It's one of the more common handguns on the market. This will display how the lights look on a handgun and fit. So let's get started with the Inforce APL. The Inforce APL is really light, and that's partially due because the outside construction of it is a polymer. The bezel is a polymer and the body is a polymer. A lot of people would think, you know, hey, that's not going to be as strong as some of the aluminum bodies on the market. Well, I've had a lot of guys use these and they've had no issues. I mean, they've beat these up pretty darn good and had no issues. In fact, I have one of the rifle mounted lights on my gun, and it has had no issues at all. So Inforce, I think, does a really good job of building lights and incorporating durability into them. The ambidextrous paddles back here have a little bit of texturing on them. These are what activate your light, and it clamps onto your rail a lot like the other lights on the market. So your jaws are going to open up a little bit. You can just snap that on there. Oops. Snap that on there. There is a flathead right here, as you can see, and you're just going to tighten that down. And it's on there. Now, once it's on there, it's not coming off very quickly, and it's not going on there very quickly. But if you decide to throw a weapon-mounted light on your handgun, chances are you don't need to take it off really fast or put it on really fast. So it's on there, very rigid, no wiggle in it if you tighten it down. Well, the paddles are really easy to get to. You can see I can get to my thumb on my left side, and on my right side, my trigger finger lands right on it. The way the light works, if I tap and hold, that will be momentary on. So when I let go, my light's going off. Hold, off. If I wanted constant on, what I would do is just tap one of the paddles, and my light is held on. To get it off, just tap it quick again. The APL is putting out 200 lumens. It takes one CR123 battery, and it has a runtime of an hour and a half. Price point on these little guys is just over $100, which I think is really reasonable for a weapon-mounted light. Alright, next up we have the Streamlight TLR1. This is a very popular light. I, in fact, use one of these on my handgun, and it has performed really, really well. The body of the TLR1 is an aluminum, and it is also ambidextrous with 2 switches in the back. Let's go ahead and throw it on the Glock 17 to see how it looks. The installation on this of the TLR1 is very easy. It has a clamping system just like the APL, but it's kind of spring-loaded. So as you back that screw out, it loses tension on the spring in here. So I have the screw backed out pretty far, and I can just press on it and clamp it right onto my rail, and then go ahead and tighten it down. I'm going to use my fingers to tighten it at first, and then I'll just snug it up with a flathead. There we go, pretty easy. Like I said, it is ambidextrous on the switches. My thumb reaches it pretty well, and my pointer finger or trigger finger. The switches on this one work. If I switch it up, that is going to be momentary on. It doesn't stay. So as I put pressure up, the light's going on. If I wanted constant on with the TLR1, I'm going to flip the switch down and it'll stay on. All TLR1s are powered by 2 CR123 batteries. So comparing it to the APL, You're going to chew up batteries a little bit faster with this, but you're going to get a little bit more of lumen output and a little bit longer runtime. So the TLR1 has a runtime of 2.5 hours, and it is putting out 300 lumens. Price point on the TLR1 is also just over 100 bucks, low $100 range, which is, like I said, very reasonable, I think, for a weapon-mounted light. Okay, finally we have the X300 from Surfire. This is a great light. This thing is putting out between 500 and 600 lumens. It takes 2 CR123 batteries and has a runtime of 1.5 hours. So you're getting a lot more output out of this light compared to the other two. Almost double. And Surefire has been in the game a long time. They make excellent products, and a lot of our law enforcement and military guys depend on them every day. The outside construction of the X300 is aluminum. This particular one has a DG switch on it, or a grip switch. I threw this on here. Well, I didn't throw it on, it was already on, but I figured this would be great to include in this video just to show you guys some different options in case you are interested in a grip switch for your light. You can get them for the TLR1 from Streamlight as well, but like I said, this X300 already had it on it, so why not? Let's look at it. Let's go ahead and throw the X300 on the 17 and see how it looks. To install your X300 on the gun, there are tabs, 2 tabs, one on each side of the light. We're just going to pull down on those and slide our gun in the rail section of the light, and it just clicks into place. No tools required, which is really nice. Your grip switch is going to run along the trigger guard and then onto your grip. So when I grip the gun, the light's coming on. As I loosen my grip, the light will go off. If I need a constant on, I'm going to have to go forward to the switches. So with my thumb, hit it there, or with my trigger finger. Now, like I said, this light is putting out a lot more lumens than the previous two. Almost double. And the price reflects that. You can get an X300 for just under 300 bucks. And yeah, that's expensive, but you're getting a lot more light. Here's a little size comparison of all 3 lights. There's your APL from Inforce, your Streamlight TLR1, and your X300. So all very close in length, the X300 being the longest, the APL being the lightest and shortest, and the TLR1 probably the heaviest, but definitely not the longest. Alright, there we go. Those are 3 solid options for weapon-mounted lights for your handgun. You know, a weapon-mounted light often gets looked over as a necessity, but it's a big part of self-defense and home defense, more specifically. You know, a lot of these things that we try to defend ourselves from, these people and events, usually happen at night. So the ability to see and identify targets is pretty important. I hope this video helped you guys and gave you a little bit of insight into each of these models. A lot of it is personal preference on what you pick, but they all are great options. If you could, leave a comment below, tell me what you use or which one of these 3 you liked. It would be greatly appreciated. Just want to get some feedback from you guys. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, go visit us on Facebook and Instagram, and we'll see you on the next video.